Bill Maher says Al Franken doesn't deserve to be lumped in with Weinstein, Trump, Spacey and more. Bill Maher says Al Franken doesn't deserve to be lumped in with Weinstein, Trump, Spacey and more. Bill Maher reflected on the sexual misconduct allegations against Al Franken on his last show of the year Friday night, but instead of attacking the Minnesota senator like many of his late-night comrades have, the real-time host defended him. On Thursday of last week, newscaster Lean Tweeden alleged that during a USO tour of the Middle East in 2006, Franken wrote a comedy skit for them involving a kiss, insisting that she rehearse it with him beforehand. When she eventually gave in, she said he aggressively stuck his tongue in her mouth. While she was asleep on the flight back to the United States, Franken took a picture of himself with his hands over her breasts. Maher admitted that his friend Al did a bad thing but that he doesn't deserve to be lumped in with Roy Moore or Kevin Spacey or Harvey Weinstein or Donald Trump. Donald Trump calls his accusers liars, threatens to sue them, did long riffs at his rallies, would say that they were too ugly for him to assault, Maher said. Plus, with Al Franken, we're talking about one incident. Trump has 16 accusers. Roy Moore has 9. I know the difference between a man who once acted like a dick and a man who is a dick, he continued. I know the difference between someone who behaved like a high schooler and someone who targeted high schoolers. Maher then narrowed in on Moore, the chivalrous child molester and Republican Alabama Senate candidate who's been accused of having had sexual relationships with teenage girls. The real-time host joked that Moore has spent more time chatting up young girls at the mall than Santa Claus after he was banned from an Alabama mall for allegedly hitting on a high school-age girl. Banned from the mall? Too creepy for an Alabama mall? Maher said. That's like being too fat for the Iowa State Fair. Moore's opponent, Democrat Doug Jones, is actually ahead in the Alabama polls, which came as a shock to Maher. Political experts are saying that his recent surge is due to not effing kids, he joked. But Maher is refusing to drop out of the race. In fact, he said Friday during a press conference that we need moral value back in our country. Came up to discuss anger management, Maher quipped. These guys, they've got big balls. You've gotta give them that. For Maher, his last show of the year could not have come at a more perfect time. Need a break, he said. I'm not going to lie. I think we all need a little break. This has been a tough year for America, for truth, for women, for potted plants. But don't worry, we'll be back January 19th to talk about all the mass shootings and masturbating actors that make America the greatest country in the world.